Okay, so in this screencast presentation, this is the beginning of Chapter 5. They're going to show you two different procedures here, or actually two photos. And we're going to be using the red eye tool as well as the curves adjustment layer. And over in your tool panel, we're going to go back to where we found a lot of those restoration tools. And we're going to click to the red eye tool. So what I like to do when I use this tool is to actually zoom in on the eyes that I'm going to correct. And I want to show you the difference in the default as opposed to going into the options panel and changing. Generally it defaults to 50% or so. And so when I click in there, I get, it looks good. It's a little sharp around the edges, a little black. But what happens is, watch when I take the sliders and I slightly adjust these amounts to 37%. And you can see that it's just not quite as contrasty as it was over 50%. And depending on the person will lead you to as far as how you're going to adjust these options up here. So I'm just going to go down to 35 and then click on the other eye. And basically, it still looks like this one is actually a little contrasty. It might be because I had already set it there. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning. And now that I have it set at 37, I'll go ahead and click on these. And yeah, it's not as black. So sometimes you may be required to go back in the history panel and just start over, just to make sure you get that nice realistic look. The other thing they showed in the chapter was a way to actually improve the brightness of this photo here. And we have a panel for the layers, layer adjustment panel, they refer to it, but there's this item called curves. And when you take curves, going to be found in the layer here, so there it is. Okay, so it's just right underneath properties here. I'm going to have to move the option panel up a little bit. Okay, and so what I can do here is I'm going to do several things. I mean, I could take it and lighten it up this way, okay? I could just bring it back down. Another way to lighten this up is I can go down to the eyedropper tool, and this is for making whites their truest color. So basically to set the white point in your photo. And then find something in the photo that you know is going to be truly white. And I think this little stripe here on his shirt would be that. And you notice how it just added just a nice amount of brightness there, just to kind of spruce up the photo. So this is one of the tasks that they had you do, and again, very simple tasks, nothing overly confusing about it. The other item that they showed you in this chapter was the iris blur tool, and you can do this in Bridge as well, but I'm just going to show you how to do it in Photoshop. It works the same way, but what you do here is you actually go into the filter menu and you want to go to blur and then iris blur. And what happens is this oval comes up, and as you can see in there that it's very focused inside the middle here, and then it leads out and it just gets more out of focus. This is what we refer to as minimum depth of field, soft focus, and it can be a really nice effect as far as getting your viewers to focus right on the egret themselves, itself. So what you can do here is you can actually move the oval and put it in the area where you want it to remain in focus. You can actually even resize the oval as you wish to. And again, you can just always keep moving it. The other thing too is I think this might be just a little bit too much blur, so you can actually change the amount of blur that you give the photo, and it's up to you and what you your own artistic ideas are for this photo. So just another simple operation. Thanks. This is it for these two assignments, and then we'll move on to the next assignments in the chapter.